Joining us now, Chris Landau, for the first time since he's become a big muckety-muck as Deputy Secretary of State. He's in New York, where he's joining us from now. Mr. Deputy Secretary, it's great to see you tonight. The president posted on Truth Social today that Ukraine, with help from the EU, is in a position to win back all of its territory taken from Russia. He added, maybe even go further than that. Mr. Deputy Secretary, that's a big change from what Trump sounded like during the campaign. What's this all about?
You know, Laura, first of all, let me just say it's a real pleasure to be back on your show. It's great to see you. It's great to be here at the United Nations with the president. On the Ukraine front, I think the president has tried very hard since the first day he took office, even before he took office, to bring peace to the Ukraine-Russia war, as well as to all these other conflicts around the world. He rattled off all the wars that he has solved to date, and it's been really mind-blowing. On the Ukraine one, I think he really just has run out of patience with Russia. I mean, it's frustrating because I think there's a deal to be done there. And I think, you know, he made it clear that he wanted to see this war, which never would have happened if he'd been president, come to an end and to have a normal relationship with Russia. And I think he has tried to extend a hand of friendship. That hand has not been accepted by Russia. So I think he's saying, okay, like I'm kind of at the end of my rope here. That's the way I interpret this.
Well, we're going to get into this other issue later in the show, but there's a concern that all of the issues the president dealt with today, specifically the escalator, could be something, more sinister. The UN is telling Fox that it was someone from the president's team running ahead of him that ended up stopping the escalator. I know this might seem trivial to people, but it didn't seem trivial to a lot of Americans watching this. Has the administration been given any official explanation as to why the escalator stopped when he stepped onto it?
Laura, it's actually, I don't know what the cause is, but to me, it's such a wonderful metaphor. Both the escalator and then the teleprompter didn't work. I mean, it just shows the UN and all this other machinery that was put in place after World War II has just been operating on autopilot for a long time. And the president is finally, the one to say the emperor has no clothes. I mean, he's the one that's been negotiating peace deals while the UN is nowhere to be found. And so I think it is symptomatic of the fact that the UN is a broken down process. And it's too bad, as the president said. I mean, the UN has a lot of potential. But the truth is, this system that started with so much promise has kind of run out of gas. So, I don't know what the cause was, but again, I think it is a very apt metaphor for what we're seeing here.
And another moment today, Kamala Harris was appearing on The View, and she discussed, and she was disgusted by what she had heard the president had said or was going to say at the United Nations. And I'm paraphrasing here, but do we have the soundbite? Yeah, we have it. Let's listen.
They laughed at him the last time he was in front of the UN.
Yeah, this time
you watched, you remember just about, I don't know, several weeks ago, that meeting with Xi and Kim Jong-un and Putin? Yeah. You think they're not laughing?
Oh, they are.
As they create a new axis of partnership?
Is that the sense you got? Kamala Harris, who was not there, said people were all laughing at him.
To the contrary, I think this was such an important speech, Laura, because President Trump says what he means and he means what he says, and people respect that. And I think people recognize this is not the speech of just, telling people what they want to hear. That kind of diplomacy is for the birds. That kind of diplomacy is over, right? I mean, President Trump really threw down the gauntlet to the globalists and said, enough is enough. You guys with your open borders policies, with your Green New Deal fantasies, you have led the globalists have led the world to a point of crisis. And the truth is, Laura, people know this. Even the globalists, they know this. Open borders is not going to last long around the world. I mean, you can see political movements rising up to challenge that because people, want the sovereignty of deciding who comes into their own country. Nobody in any country is voting for open borders. People want democratically have chosen to retain their own identity. President Trump, is just reinforcing that message today that, around, here in the United States and in Europe, the kind of open borders, climate fantasy, lack of energy, common sense policies, I think are a thing of the past. And people are flocking to the United States for new economic deals, for opportunities. This is the way forward. And, this is a challenge to the old order. It's not a surprise that, some of the traditional politicians of the left are trashing the speech. This is a frontal challenge to their whole worldview.
Yeah, that old world order. OVER. Mr. Deputy Secretary, great to see you. Thanks so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.